Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you are doing well. So we'll start with the session. Okay, so in the last class, what we have discussed, we'll have a quick relook on that, and then we can start with our today's session. So here, if you see that, okay, in the last class yesterday, we have discussed about the few things. So yesterday we have discussed about managing the page flow in the web application. We have been discussed here. Very good afternoon, Pallavi Ramu. So yesterday we have been discussing about your managing the page flow of the web application. That is one point what we have been discussed in the last class. Managing the page flow in the web application we have been discussed, and we have also discussed about handling the events, how we need to handle the events that we have seen, and we have also discussed about the validators and converters also, what we have been discussed. Fine, Pavitra, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Maksud. So let us see. Okay, we will be moving down to the more on the handling of the event, and then we'll go for the standardizing the layout of the web application, how to do. And yes, we can also create the new UI component using the existing UI component, how to do that also we are going to see. And also we are going to discuss about the Jsfhs enabled web pages also. Let us see that, okay, how much we can able to do for today. So first we'll talk about the handling of the events, okay, which we expected that, okay, in the last class we have discussed a few points. So we'll have a demo kind of things, and then we'll also implement then we'll go for the standardizing the layout of the web pages also, we are going to discuss also. So let's see this here. So we have here in this case, in the handling of the events, we have been discussing about event model. We have been discussed. There are I think, okay, if you remember, we have discussed about two different type of your events, which will be generally we can find in your Jsfhs. We have application event and we have life cycle events. These are the two different type of your events generally we can find. And again, from your application event it is concerned, there are two different type of your application events which are available. That is nothing but your action event and value change event. These are the two different kind of your events generally we find. And we know that an action event is like clicking on a button or a radio button, clicking on a radio button. So such kind of actions which are comes under the action event. And value change event which will be occurred whenever there is a changes in the value of the UI component. That time the value change event which will be occurring. So this is about your application event, which is we are talking about. Then the life cycle event, when we are talking about, okay, the life cycle event, that there are two different types of your life cycle event which we can talk about. Phase event and the system event. These are the two different type of your events generally which we can talk about. So phase event, where we will talk about the system, overall the system, the life cycle phases, the 6 different life cycle phases which are there. That life cycle phases we can get through the phase event, and even we can use the system events for analyzing overall the system events also. Then we can use the system. These are the two different type of your events generally we can use. And now, okay, we need to see that, okay, to capture the event or a set of Java classes which we need to use, and these classes are used to recognize the type of event, whether it is an action or a value change or a phase event. Okay, so that we need to know, that we need to write. So basically we need to write a class which has to implement, or which need to be written the code of event handling. Then after identifying the event, it is associated with an event handler that handles that particular event. And the association is done with the event listeners. So event listeners are the classes, okay, which you need to create, and by implementing the event listener interface, and then, okay, that event class which we need to be passed to the your event listener tag, so that okay, you can register the event to that particular UI component also. That way you can register or associate your event handler to the UI component also. So how to handle the event? This is what also we have been discussed, like create a user-defined Java class we need to do. We have to implement the listener interface according to the type of event generated, and also we have to provide the definition for all the methods of the interface that we have implemented. So this is the way how we can write the event and event generated. These are few things which you need to do, like you need to create first the user-defined class. The first class, then implement the interface, then the definition of the methods which you need to write within that. So some of the few things which I told about the hierarchy of the classes, if you remember, we have discussed about that also. We have event in that, okay, action event, and we have value change event. These are the two different type of your event generally which we can find. And we have again one more event which is called your phase event. From the event object, there are two different kind of your event object which has been derived from, that is phases event and phase event. From phases event, we have action event and value change event are the two different type of your event which has been derived from. And phase event is the one, okay, which will takes care about the life cycle of your JSF page. And there are different type of your listener interfaces also which are there, like action listener is an interface. We have value change listener is an interface. Phase listener is also an interface. And action listener is having a method called as process action. Value change listener is having a method called as value change, okay, process value change. And phase listener is having three methods, that is before phase, after phase, and get phase ID are the three methods which you can find in the phase listeners also. Okay. Now, as I told you that, okay, this is the sample listener class. It is a simple listener class which you need to create. Public class, handle event, implements action listener, and here you could see that, okay, public void process action event, and this is a code for handling the event also. So here you need to write the code. Whatever the code you want to write, okay, here you could write that. So that is a simple process action event handling how we can implement. Then we have something called as, okay, how we can register that particular class to the UI component. You can see, like I can create a command button called as value submit, and here you need to write f action listener. If you remember that, okay, action listener is actually a tag which is provided by the core tag library, and in that, okay, you have to specify the type. Type is an attribute where you have to give the name of that particular class which is handling the event, okay, so which is having the action listener methods and all, that particular class which we need to be specified over here. This is, okay, what we need to be, how it has to be registered actually. So this is way how you can write a sample class, and we can write a event, and we can implement the event in your JSF. Similarly, for the value change, this is for your action event. Similarly, for a value change event, if you want to do this, then how you could do value change event. If there is a value changes in the combo box or anything, that time this UI, okay, the combo box or a list box or maybe the radio button, okay, then they will fire an event that is nothing but your value change event. So JSF has provided value change event class to record that particular event. And for that, okay, you have the listeners. Value change event stores the information and the UI component that generated the event, and the JSF lifecycle during the event it has occurred also. So that is also will be the information will be taken by the value change event. And you can see that, okay, to handle the value change event, we require value change listener interface which is available. And to process that particular event and all, we have process value change method, it is there, which is the part of your value change listener interface. So we need to override the method that is process value change method, and there we need to write the code. And in the process value change method, the argument type, it will be value change event. Like action listener, you have process action method, we have the action event of it. Similarly, for process value change method, we have value change event is the object, and here you need to write the code in that. If you want to register that, okay, then you can go for this. You could go for this to handle that. The input text f colon value change listener type is equal to the class name which you need to be specified. The class which you have written, there you can write the code. So this is the way how you could write a sample implementation of the code and all. So let us will see a sample example of doing this. Give me a minute. Okay, I'll just show you a sample example of how we can do the event. I think now, as far as of your theory is concerned, as part of your event handling, I think now it is clear. Just we'll see the demo, how we can do that demo. We can go for a small demo. Give me a minute. I'll show you a sample demo of action event, and we'll see that okay how exactly it will work. Give me a moment. Let me show you a sample example of first demo, that is nothing but your action event, how we are going to work, that I will show you. So I have created that demo, so just will implement. So here index.xhtml page, okay, which I have created. Here what I've done is, okay, a small command button, okay, which I have created here. You could see that, okay, there is a command button, value click, and action, that is show result method, so that is to go to the next page. And I have created an action listener here. Okay, so this is a action listener for registering that. And com.myEventHandler, it is nothing but the listener class, okay, which we are implementing here. The listener class, okay, which you need to be created. So that I have done here. Then I have created a event handler called as my action event. So here, this is I have written. You will be getting this my. Okay, action event. My action event is the type which we have specified. Now here you could see the class which I have created. My action event implements action listener, and here process action is a method which will need to be overridden from the action listener, and action event argument which will be passed. And I have written here that, okay, that is from the faces context object, we'll get the current instance, we'll get the user data, that is nothing but the bean. Okay, the bean object we'll get, and in that bean, okay, we have the data, so that data value which will be converted to the hello world. That means I'm changing the string value of the bean. That is what I am doing, a small process, okay, which I have changed. There is a small changes, any changes code. You can also print a small message also, but this is what I have done. Okay, so hello world, it is changing, the bean value, it will be changed. So then you could see that, okay, the bean which is containing user data, and it is having a set data method which is will contain, now previously it will contain sample data, but now it will contain hello world also. And show result is a method which will return the result. Result is nothing but the page, okay, which page it has to be displayed, that you can write in the result. And then, okay, the result page which will display the data, that is nothing but, okay, whatever the changes which has happened using the button, that it will be displayed for us. So this is a sample example which we want to run. Okay, let us will see that, okay, the same example which we want to do in our NetBeans. Let us see this. So new project, same web application. I will say that, okay, event demo. I just want to give the name as project name is event demo. I want to create, this is with the Java server faces Jsfhs, which I want to implement. Result string we need not to define in the config.xml. Okay, by the way, that is return value of the in the button. So it is not mandatory that, okay, we have to write in the config.xml file also. Okay then. So here we need to write the code. So here what I need to do is, okay, I just want to take that simple HTML code which we have created, a simple form with a command button, with a simple command button which I have created here. I just want to add that. F colon action listener we are using because I do not have the one, okay, namespace, that is nothing but your core namespace. So I need to add that core namespace, hence I've added that. The return value of this is action. When I'm saying action, user data dot show result is a method which will be called. User data is in bean, show result is a method. The return value, okay, you will get. Okay, as a the return value is a string which should be the same as the page name. That will be there. Alright then. So this is the few things which we have been implemented. Form, command button. We have value click, action, user data dot show result is a method which is available. F colon action listener type is equal to com dot my action event is the class which we have written over here. Now what I need to do, this is a simple index.xhtml file which is there. When I'll click, then okay, user data dot show result method, it will be get called. And there is an action, that is your action listener also will be called. Okay, that is because it is registered to the my action event also. So we need to create a class called as user data. Okay, this is the class I need to create called as user data is the class we need to create. In that, okay, there will be a data variable and show result is a method which will be available here. So I need to create a managed bean. So new, then I need to go for the Jsfs managed bean. Okay, you need to create that Jsfs managed bean. The name of the managed bean will be user data, whose value will be changed at the runtime. That is what exactly we will do. Yes, we can write that also. There is no problem. Okay then. So user data, then package, if you want to write that package, you can write as a com, and the name of that, it is nothing but your user data. Let's finish that. So now if you are confused with this particular thing, I can just say result also. Okay, so when I click on the result, then it has to go to the result page, right? Okay, simple that. Now this is the bean, okay, where the bean is having some method called as data is a object, the member variable it will be there, and for that, okay, setter method and getter method which you are going to write. So let me do that. Private string data, right? And for this, okay, getter method and setter methods if you want to write, right click, then you have to say insert code. You know, getter method, setter method, how to generate, and generate. By this, okay, set data, yeah, then we have get data, the two methods are there. Managed bean, so this managed bean is name having, you can say this is user data, and you can set the eager value as true. If you want to get the request scope or session scope, that is also you can change depending on the type of your requirement. So this is a managed bean which you have created for us. Okay, so this is my managed bean. Once you have created the managed bean, we need to also create one more thing, that is nothing but your listener class. Okay, which is going to listen your event. Okay, so for that, what you need to do, it is a simple Java class which can act as a listener class. So this is nothing but your my action event is the class which I have been defined here. So you'll say com. Okay. Now in this, what I have defined, I need to define, okay, we need to specify that we need to write that, okay, it has to be implement action listener. So you can set that implements action listener. So just you can add, okay, then we can override the abstract methods also, we can override. think it is, see, this is given AWT event action, so it is not correct, so we have to remove. So it has given AWT. This one. Okay, add import for javax.faces.event.action listener. So we need to use that. And then we have to override the method. So that is, you will see that, okay, process action method, it will come. Okay, so now, then here you need to write the code. Whatever the code you want to write, okay, here you could write that particular code over here. Can be this listener in the managed bin, no. Listener should be in a separate class, you can write. Okay. Process action method, what do you need to write the code? Just you see. Okay, I have written a small code to access the your data, and you want to change that. So the same code I am writing here. So you need to create a user data object, faces context. You need to implement. You have to import that. We are getting the user data object. After the user data object, we are changing to hello world. That's it. Okay, so this is what we have been implemented in the event demo. Okay, next what we need to do, then we need to have a result page. So I need to create a Jsfs page called as a result page. So result.xhtml page, and here what I need to do is, okay, it will display the value. Now, what is that changes? Okay, you can see that, okay, the result page, what it will display, user data dot data. This is what it has to display. So this is my result page, which will be displayed for you. My action event, okay, this is the class which we are implementing. User data, this is the class, okay, which we are implementing. This is your managed bin. And then we have index.html. So these are all the few things which we can talk about. You'll get the map object, okay, because all the data which is there in the map, that we can get it. So let me run. Okay, so this is what we have, the click method. When you click on the method, you can see, yeah, there is might be the problem because so you can get that when you click on the Instead of data, we have to use get data method in the result page. No, result page we should not say that okay get data, because get data is not the method, because we will not call the get data method. There is a small mistake I have done somewhere. There is one method. Okay. So there is a map of, there is this particular method which will containing the values, whatever the bean values and everything it is there, that it will be as a map it will be containing. So from that, okay, one of the bean value which you have to get here. So that is what I have written there. I'll show you this. Okay, I think somewhere I am making a wrong. Fine, not be a problem. So let me run a particular event handling. So let's see another demo which I have, which is based on the combo box. We'll select the value. So in turn, okay, the value which will be set, okay, you can see that, okay, the value goes to the in the Asia. If I say United States, okay, that is English US. If I'm talking about United Kingdom, then it will be MEK, and if it is France, okay, FRU, like that. Okay, any changes which is happening in our in this particular combo box, then automatically that values are also changed in this, okay, in your text field also. So this is what we have done with the event handling also. Okay. It needs to be a member because generally the data members are private, and through the get data we can access. Okay. This is correct. I think I have done that same. Same thing. Anyway, I'll see that, okay, this particular error, whatever it is, okay, so then I'll show you. But let me go with this particular demo, okay, which we have done as part of the value change listener. So let us see that, okay, how we have done that. So we have something called as, I have created index.html feeds, okay, where I have created something called as input text. Okay, there is country language count. Okay, language is there, and this language, it is nothing but count is again a simple managed bin. You could see that. Okay, this is a managed bin which I have created here, and whatever the value, okay, we are selecting here, the value change listener will change that. Okay, any changes which you are doing, automatically that changes will happen to the input text. This is what a sample example we are doing. Yeah, please tell. Yeah, from Rajouri Garden. Rajouri Garden, can you please unmute your mic and please speak?
Hello.
Unmute your mic. No, you are not audible. Unmute your mic. Can you see that? Okay, there is an unmute button will be there. There is an unmute button will be there in the wire.
Hello.
Yeah, now you are audible. Can you please speak? You are audible. You are audible. You are audible. Please speak. From Rajouri Garden, you are audible. Oh, I am not audible for you. Okay. Am I audible now to you? Okay then. So yeah, please tell, because I think when I am making on air, you are getting problem. So here what I have done is, okay, I have created a select one menu and the value which is nothing but your count language. On change, there will be a submit method, it will be gets called. And whenever there is a submit method will be called, okay, this need to be, okay, we need to call the submit method and automatically it will be refreshed, and again it will display in the your, okay, text field. And select item, as you know, okay, this is nothing but again a core tag library item. and what I've done is count.country. Count.country is nothing but a value, that is nothing but a collection type of value. Hence, okay, I need not to write multiple items. I need not to write. That is the best part of this. So this is, you can see the select item which will contain the multiple items over here, and select one menu, it is closed. And command button, when you will click, then you can go whatever the the value which is there, then it will go to the next page, that is to the success page. Can you please check with your local TIA? I think there is a small problem which you are getting. Can you please check with your local TIA? All right. Okay. Drop down is getting the value from this count.country, and count is nothing but a simple object. This is your managed bin. In that managed bin, you have something called as country, is a variable. It is there. You can see that variable we are using here. So that variable is what type of variable? That is a map type of variable. So that is what it is using. The select item is using that variable. And here we have get country. Okay, so where the get country, which is returning the country object. And this country object we are initializing, that is United States or United Kingdom, France, India, and accordingly, okay, the values also will be given. These are the keys and these are the values. As you know that, okay, map will have key and value pair. And by default, the language which will be initialized, that is to the null. And okay, then whenever you can call the get language and set language method, basically to set the value of the language or get the value of the language. This is all about your sample managed bin which has been created for us. Count is the managed bin name. The name of your managed bin is count. Okay, so that is what we have given. Any questions on this particular bin? Okay. Any questions? Yes, good afternoon.
So I just want to know, we are using the map over here. Can we use a DB connectivity if we are storing the country name in the database?
Yes, we can use the DB connectivity. But DB connectivity if you are using also, but when you are binding that, this binding when it will happen, that is select item where you are binding. So there it should be managed bin. Okay, that means you can take the DB values, put it into a collection, and that collection value you have to bind to that particular your UI component. We cannot do like normally with a JDBC how we are doing with a AWT. If that is the things, if it is there, that will not be a problem.
That means the first all values are fetched and stored in the collection. Then after we can fetch the values. That means first we have to create the connection and fetching the values. But if it shows the error something, so that means the display page will not come, the result page. If in the DB there is some exception, suppose if we are getting some exception to fetching the values, and some values retrieved in the map and the exceptions occurs, then the list will completely displayed or not.
If the exception is there, but see, that exception wherever it is there, that depends on that, no? Because if the DB connection only an exception, then obviously the map will not be initialized. Maybe we are getting an exception when we are adding a value. There may be the third value or fourth value. Then there is an exception. Maybe there are certain values it can be displayed. So that is we cannot expect. No, the exception where exactly it has occurred, depending on that we can tell.
The condition is that we are fetching the value. After the 10 values, the exception is occurs. Due to any issue, the exception is occurs. That means we, in map there is only 10 values. exception, the REST program will work properly, or the result page will display only 10 data, or it will also shows the exception?
It depends on your program. That okay, if your program says that okay, it has to continue. If you have handled it properly, then that 10 values also it can be displayed. But if it is not written like that, then obviously the page it has to give an error. It depends on the exception, right? Okay, it depends on the programmer what he has written the code. If he has handled that exception, then 10 values also will come, and there can be a message also be there that okay, there is an exception occurred. This is what happens also many of the web pages also, right?
Okay, and one more thing, we can easily handle the exception inside the bean class because it's a simple Java class. But if I want to handle the exception inside the JSF class, JSF page, how we can manage the exception? And your front we can consider the JSF page.
No,
JSF simple.
No. The JSF, what do you mean to say? Like you want to handle the exception within the JSF code, you mean to say?
Yeah.
There is no such particular exception handling which is implemented in the JSF. There is no tags or anything, it has not been provided for you. Get my point now?
Handling the exception.
Because most of the things, whatever you are doing, you have to do through the bean, or you are doing through the some other class only. You are not doing everything in the JSF itself. Get my point now?
Okay, so that means we have to complete work in our model class or the controller class. In the both classes, we have to complete all the tasks.
Understand one thing, JSF page is not going to process anything. It is it will be working as a view. Are you getting my point?
Okay.
It will be as a view, it will work. It is not going to process anything.
Okay, and one more thing I have. In the front view, we are using the two things. The first HTML library,
yes.
namespace, namespace, and at same time we are using the HTML code, pure HTML code. That means the paragraph lines, p-align, and the center and all. And inside that means the rendering kit will only render the particular code which is defined using the HTML namespace.
Yes, obviously. That means JSF code only will be rendered. The rendering kit will render the JSF code. Okay, but it is not the HTML.
So what about the HTML? How it will execute?
HTML code, what is the problem for browser? What is the problem for a browser to see the HTML code? As it is, it will display, right?
But we are not setting the thing to set the content type like that. In the servlet, we have the set content type. We are not setting
that we need not to do here. That we need not to do here because that will be taken care. We are not doing manually, but it will be taken care. Okay, so we are thinking about totally perspective of view on the servlet kind of thing. Because in the servlet is a pure Java file, that's why we used to convert and set content type and everything we set. But here we need not to do that.
Set content type, it's not compulsory, but like sometimes some browsers or some servers generates the error. You have to set the set content types thing. Some browsers, because in the servlet, if you don't set the set content type, it will execute properly. If you're using the Apache and Glassfish, it will work properly. But the restriction is the Oracle says, but some servers require the set content type. If we are using those kind of servers, then what will be happen?
No, whatever you give a set content time also, at the end what it happens? At the end what will happen? Your response object, which is the stream, which is sending the data to the browser, it should know that okay, it is of HTML type, right or not? You write set content type, this is your own version of the code which you are writing in Java. But for a browser, is it understood set content type? No, it will not understand. What is the end objective? It has to send the response stream to the browser, which can be done by this JSF. We need not to think about the set content type. Set content type is our own method by which the content type which will be set, right or not? Maybe in ASP.NET it will be different. In PHP it will be different. But everyone is sending what the end of the day, a response stream has to be sent to the browser. So the similar thing you have to consider here. in a JSF page also, you need to send the response string to your browser. That is only the things what we need to know.
The rendering kit only render the HTML namespace code, and rest will not be rendered by this kit.
It will not be rendered. This is okay as it is. It will put. That means okay, whatever the code, whichever it is sees the JSF code, it will be rendered into the HTML code. As your HTML code as it is, it will be taken. So that need not to be rendered properly, because that it will directly understood by the browser.
Okay, that means we can't change the content type exactly.
Content type, what way you are changing? I think if you have any changes, this content type which we are talking about, it is not compulsion. It is in the case of your JSF. We never write that particular code, content type or anything. You get my point?
Yeah, I'm getting your point, but I have a question. Suppose we are using the servlet, so we can use the set content type, but we can change the content type. It can be mime type, it can be Acrobat Reader type, it can be different kind of values. So in the JSF, it always return the HTML.
Obviously, I think okay, that's a one question. Good, but I feel okay, this will be a type of HTML page only. We cannot okay. I understood. I think you are asking me that whether the set content type is of type image type or anything. That is what you mean, right? Or image type or anything. That we cannot do, I think, here. That is not possible. It's in servlet and all, it is possible. Because this way the view page cannot be possible like that. Please check, but okay, what my observation, we cannot do. Okay. I'm not getting your voice now.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not getting your voice. Okay. Fine. Okay. Fine then. So we'll see that, okay, this is a small code which we are talking about. Okay, that is a country, which is the bean which we have created. And in the bean, we have the different values which we have put, United States and all. So this country, which is a map, okay, which has been mapped to the value that is nothing but your count.country, which is nothing but the combo box which will contain this particular value. So all the values which are there in your country map, okay, which will be stored over here. Then okay, you have value change listener, that is model.country listener. Country listener is nothing but a method which has been okay. Your country listener is a listener which has been binded to this particular select one menu. So let us see that, okay, country listener. So the value change listener has been implemented, and process value change is the method which has need to be overridden. And here you could see that, okay, that is, I am getting the bean value just like user data, how we are getting the same way we are getting the country, and country dot set language, we are getting the set language, event dot get new value to string. So whatever the new value which is there, from that, okay, the new value will set to this, to where we are setting, to the language value we are setting. So if there is a change in the language value, then what it will happen, to which value it is changing, you can see that, okay, language where it has been binded, it has been binded to the next value, that is nothing but your input text. So that's why any changes whichever it is happening in your country, that is in your combo box, it is goes to the text field also will show that's the same thing. And when you will go to the success page, in the success page also, the language also will show the same page only. Okay, that is whatever the language you have selected, the same language it will be displayed there. You can just run this code. Okay, you can see this. This is my France or anything. I have selected that. When I say select country, the user language is FRU, because this is from the bean, the value it will come. This is your country listener. Country listener will have value change listener code, it will be there, and that is what, okay, because value change listener is having a one method, that is process value change. And process value change is having a method where we have written the code for getting the bean, and after that, okay, we are setting the language value. Setting the language value, how this language where this method it is there, this method is available in your Okay, set language, it is there in the bean. So that is a simple thing what we have been implemented here. So that is the way how you can write a sample your event handling code which you can write, and by which we can do small changes also. So that's one point. So let us we'll take this demo. For this what we have done, let us see. Implementing value change event. Create a web application. Can we map multiple combo boxes? You can have multiple combo boxes can have the same value. Okay, but for which combo boxes you are giving the event, depending on that, okay, it is going to execute. Mapping the values can be easy. That is not be a big problem. To create a web application using the Jsfhs framework, which we need to do. Can you again write the question, Arun? Then you need to write the code for the index. Index.xhtml, where I have written the code. This code. Please see to this. Okay, this is a sample code which I have written. Why action class will come? Action class, because for combo box generally we will bind through the value change listener. Why should we go for action class? This is now this is my index.html. Okay, in the index.html we have a combo box. In the combo box, okay, we have binded to the country variable, and this country variable, which is the property of your managed bean, which is the map bean, which will contain all the values, and any changes which will happen, then country listener is the class which will be gets called. One minute. Yeah, tell me now. Yeah, please.
If we have a single method process action, and we have two combo box, and use single process action method for both. So how I can map the both combo box with the single method, because both are using the same value chain listener. Both
you know, right? Okay. This is you can use the methods of this. Okay, event dot. Then we have to find out, okay, which particular component has given that particular event.
Get component.
Yes. Okay. This method we need to use, and then we need to write the code actually. But I have not implemented. You can check. You can implement that. Whatever the ID property.
Inside the
yes.
Okay.
We generally write. No, I think those. If you remember, we have writing the AWT code also.
Yeah. That's why I'm asking it's possible. That's why I'm asking if it's possible or not.
Yeah. Try it out. That generally because here in this case we have written 2-3 codes. Okay, then we used to write the different, but we can do the same thing. Okay, we can specify the UI component, okay, and we can write the code also. Okay, we can do that.
Similar kind of UI, we can use a single listener class.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So now we have simply add a managed bean to the. So you need to add a managed bean to the web application. Okay, which is your country.java code. Okay, which we are doing. So country.java is nothing but your managed bean, and let us see this. This is my managed bean which we have created. This is a simple, you know that, okay, how to create a managed bean, right? Public class country, and we have a variable string language and map variable, and this map variable will contain, okay, these particular elements, and this country variable will be mapped to or bind to your combo box. So that is what. And for language we have, okay, set language, get language is a method which is there, and country we have initialized, and get country is a method by which we can get the string variable. So this is a sample your implementation as part of your simple managed bean which we have created. After creating the managed bean, we need to create a listener class. Add a listener class. Okay, listener class to the web application. This is what we need to do. This is, in my case, it is country listener.java. This is my listener class which has to be. And remember that, okay, this particular class is a simple POJO based class only. There is nothing need to be configured or anything. So country listener will require the process value change method we need to write, and we are writing the process value change method, and then we can get your bean object, and bean object we can set the value also. This is a sample code which we have written in your bean. All right. So this is a sample implementation. In the country listener we have done. Then, okay, the last, this is once we have done with this is about your bean. Then we have discussed about your listener class to the web application once we have done. Then, okay, we need to go for your success.xhtml. This is the page which we need to be implemented. To get the new value from the event object. So now we can specify this value, success.xhtml value. Okay, so this is the steps which we need to be followed for implementing a sample your event handling. When you are doing, we can take care about this. So this is the demo which I just. So you can create the demo. So we'll see also this demo also, that is action event, because with button also we can do that. So that is the sample event which we have created. Alright. So this is about a event which we can talk about. Either we have seen that there is a mistake which I will see that I will resolve that also. So we can have the action event. So we can write the code for the action event. We can write the code for the value change event for the combo box and all also we can write. Now, okay, we need to go for the next case. That is nothing but your system related event. If I want to go for system related event, how I could go for? We'll see that also. So that is called your phase event. Okay, so phase event, as you know that, okay, system related event, that is nothing but your phase event, which is a life cycle event if you want to go for, then I can use phase event also. Phase event are processed, okay, for each phase of the JSP request processing life cycle. That time this phase event will be processed, and they are represented with a phase event class in the Jsfhs. So we can use the phase event class and we can implement this. There are three methods which will be there in the phase listener interface, which will contain three different methods. One is that, okay, before phase method, after phase method, and get phase ID are the three different methods generally we can find in the phase listener. And remember that, okay, in the case of your phase listener interface, like how we have value change listener, we have action listener, we have, like the same way we have the phase listener interface also. Now in this particular interface, we need to override these three methods: before phase method, after phase method, and get phase ID method also, which we need to override. It's not like filters or anything. Okay, it is overall servlet lifecycle method how we are considering. Similarly, you can consider this. So if you want to compare that, okay, then you can think about the lifecycle methods. So 6 different lifecycle methods which we can find. But do not think that, okay, before phase will occur, the after phase. So for 6 different phases, okay, you will have one before phase, one after phase, which will be there. And get phase ID is nothing but the method. Every time it will tell that, okay, which particular phase ID or which phase it is occurring. So any particular JSF page, whenever it will occur, there are 6 different phases will happen. That is nothing but your restore view phase or apply request value phase. Then you have process validation or update values, invoke application, then render phase. These 6 different phases which has to occur, okay, we can know by using the get phase ID only. It's not session ID also.
Hello?
Yeah, tell me now. Yes, sir.
Sir, it's a before phase listener. Hello?
Session, you are saying that, okay, session ID. How you are comparing with your session ID? Can you tell me now?
Yeah. Just suppose whenever we create our session, it returns, it's bind with a particular session ID. So same, if we are using the phase ID, that means it's binding with a particular phase.
No, phase ID,
every phase had its...
Phase ID, it is constant. Session ID, it is a random value, right? Okay, phase ID is a constant. Because there are 6 different phases will occur. We know that, right? Okay, that is 6 different phases will occur. So whenever the page, when it is processed, automatically this 6 different phases will occur. And each time there will be a phase ID. It will return the value. Maybe the first time restore value.
It's in session. I think it's session. It's also the same. It's returning the session ID for the particular session. If we are using the same session, that means we are not. The session is active. So the session ID is common. It's constant. If the session is logged out, then the session ID will be changed. So it's the same. Like that's why I'm comparing the get phase ID with the session ID.
But life cycle, no, this is we are talking about the life cycle of a one page life cycle. One page life cycle, when it is processed, there are 6 different life cycle, and these 6 different life cycle, 6 IDs will come. It will start with the 6 different IDs. I will show you that.
Okay.
What are that actually? You can see to this. These are the 6 different IDs which will be there. Like we have restore view, there is a string constant. Okay, there will be a numeric value as 1. Like that, okay, apply request value for that. Okay, 2 it will come. 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that, okay, 6 different your IDs which will be there. Now let's say for a X page, x.xhtml page, that means okay, this JSF page, you want to write in the process validation phase, you want to write some code. You don't want to write any code. You want to write in the process validation phase. In that case, you will write that okay, get phase ID. If it is process underscore validation, then okay, I want to display. Otherwise, I don't want to display. Maybe in the some other Z page, I want to write that okay, if it is update model values, then only I want to do something. Then I can write that particular code based on this particular constant. It is constant values.
We can change that. We can check that we are on which phase.
Yes, which phase we are there. And these two methods where you can call. We can call in the before phase or after phase.
After it's like that chain filter method. In the chain filter, we have the do before and do after method.
I did not get you.
Filter.
Okay.
Filter class, we have two methods. Before a chain, the chain. Before chain and after chain. If you when the filter manipulates the request to send the request, we have to write the before do chain, and if you want to change in the response, we have to add it after the do chain.
That is, you are writing. That is not change, not do filter method. You are writing.
Yeah, do filter. Yeah.
Yeah, do filter before that, after that. That do you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is one life cycle. That is okay. Request goes, response comes. But here, how many are there? 6. Okay. Now in this one process only, we have 6 are there, right? So there, what will happen? Request goes and response comes. When request goes, what do you want to write? And response comes, what do you want to write? You have written that. But here, how many? 6 different life cycles are there when the phase is processing. In that 6 different processing, what do you want to write in each phase? If you want to write, then you can specify that. Maybe update model value phase, I want to write some code. Or maybe I want to write the code in the process validation. You can write the code like that. Okay?
We can add the multiple filters, so same it will like that. It will work like that if we will write the more than one filter, so it will treat it like that, I think.
I did not get you.
We are if we are creating more than one filter class, okay, we can applying the more than one filter on a single process. So each and every time we can implement the different methods for the manipulating the request and response. If we have six phases,
that is something which you are doing. Okay, the request, yes, definitely we can do. But what is happening before? Okay, it will touch to the servlet. Everything you are doing. Actually, why we are doing different filters? Sometimes, okay, some servlet require 2-3 validation. Some servlet maybe require only 1 validation. Depending on that, okay, we use the multiple filters. You get my point now? For that only we go for the filters, multiple filters.
Great.
But if you will compare like that, okay, then sometimes, okay, you may feel that, okay, it is just like the before the request processing. But this is all are happening after the request, within the request processing only. That are all are happening before the request. Right or not? Until it will touch to the servlet or JSP, these all the things will happen. But this will happen within the page life cycle only. That if you will consider, that is more than enough.
Can we manipulate the response?
Here.
In the JSF, can we manipulate the response? Suppose with the help of filter, we can manipulate the response. So, in that term, can we manipulate the response?
Here we will not think about manipulating the response or anything, but here we can do the changes, whatever the value changes or anything. If you want to do that changes, we can do for the bean variable, or maybe to the your any other say properties value. If you want to change that, we can do. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
So now this is all about the different type of your values which are the part of your phase ID which we are talking about, like restore view or apply request values page or a process validation For all these, okay, the string constants have been provided to you, and there are certain numeric values are there. You can check either with the string constants, or you can check with also numeric values also, and depending on that, you can write the code also. I can write, okay, a sample code which I can display to you. Like you can see that, okay, there is a my page listener which is implementing, and in that my page listener, if it is implementing the page listener, as you know that, okay, there are three methods which need to be overridden. That is before page method, and one more method that is nothing but your after page. We have get page ID. You can see that, okay, these are the three methods are there. Okay, you have after page. Okay, this is also one method which will be available, and one more method which is nothing but your get page ID. Get page ID, what it will return? The page ID dot any page, which is going to return currently whatever the page, okay, the request is processing, that we can get from the page ID object. This is what we can talk about. Yes, it will be stored in a Glassfish console. Okay, it will be displayed in the Glassfish console. In a console prompt, you can display that, because we are not doing anything here. He has shown that, okay, every value, whenever a processing is happening, that time, okay, this before processing request it has to display, or after processing request it has to be displayed, just to show that, okay, how many processing is happening. That, okay, to show that one he has given over here. All right. So you can see to that. These are all, okay, the few things, and to register this particular listener, okay, to register this particular listener, what we need to do? We can write in the f colon view tag. Within that, okay, f colon page listener is a tag which is there, where you can specify my package dot my page listener. My page listener is the class where this particular class has implemented the page listener, where you have written the methods, okay, and implemented code and all, and that we can execute here. So this is the sample code which it talks about how the life cycle method it will be executed, that we have been discussed. Any questions here? Any questions? All right. So this is all about your phase listener, how we can implement the phase listener that we can use, that we have been discussed. And the code will be process or execute. Okay, then inside, no, we will not say that, okay, servlet engine, because we will not talk about here servlet engine, right? So this is all about the simple event handling. As part of the event handling, that is application event, or it may be the system event we can talk about. So how we can write this code, let us will see this. Okay, the phase event if you are implementing. Obviously, yes, container will take care about that. Okay, that is when it has to process and everything. Let me show this phase listener. Give me a moment. You could see that, okay, there is a sample example which I have created. This very simple example, I have created that. Phase listener. So what I have done is, I have created a phase listener class, and this phase listener class, this is my phase listener, where I have implemented the code. You can see that before phase, okay, after phase, and get phase ID is a method which you can call. And here I have written the code. If the phase ID p dot get phase ID, phase event dot get phase ID, if it is process validation, then you can say that, okay, before processing request. And each time, okay, you want to write that, okay, before which phase ID you want to print, you can print that. Similarly, after phase, okay, also if it is process validation, then after processing the request. Then, okay, I have written also here that, okay, if after processing the request, so each time it has to print the phase ID. That is what exactly we want. And as you know that, okay, get phase ID is the method, okay, by which we can each time, whatever the phase it is occurring, that phase ID string constant which will be returned to you. So that is the few things what we can talk about. So let us see this. This is how we are registering to. So if you want to register this my phase listener, nothing we need to do. We need to see that, okay, F view, within that, okay, F colon phase listener type is equal to com dot my phase listener is the your event class which we need to write, and by which, okay, we can see all the request processing life cycle also we could see that. So that is a simple one which you have been implemented. This is a system event. If you want to track the request processing life cycle, if you want to track, okay, then we can use this type of your code and we can implement this. So that is a sample implementation which we can talk about, okay, as part of your JSF implementation. If you want to go for the event handling in system based, that is phase listener, phase event, if you want to implement, then we can go for this. So that's about your phase listener and how we can implement the phase listener in our JSF code that we have been discussed. All right then. So this is about as part of your event handling it is concerned that we have seen now. Now the next, okay, thing which you have to discuss, that is about your very, very important session, that is nothing but your this chapter, that is the 6th chapter we are talking about. The 6th chapter is your, yes, this is the 6th chapter. Okay, so 6th chapter is standardizing the layout of the web page. We have seen that, okay, till now the handling of the events, how we have to do that we have seen. Now we are going to discuss about standardizing the layout of a web page. How we can implement the standardizing the layout of the web page, that's we are going to discuss now. Till now events we have done with the navigation, we have done with the managing the user input. Now standardizing the layout of the web pages, if we want to do, how do we do that? Okay, so style, how to implement. Okay, how do we implement the style? How to go for your templates? Okay, so these are all the things which will be the part of this particular chapter 6. So let us discuss about that. So this is my chapter 6. Okay, in the chapter 6, which will start with the style concept. So let us see this. So working with the style concept. Let us see, we'll see this. Basically, why we implement the style? What is the usage of the style? Can anyone tell me? Can we discuss why style we are using? In case of your HTML, anywhere, anyway, web application, we use the style. What is the purpose of the style? Okay, fine. Thank you, Arun. Sai. Anyone? Thank you, Harsha. Pallavi. Okay. The web page should be more attractive to the user. Yeah, fine. With the implementation of the style, you mean to say that, okay, it will be more attractive to the user, okay? Okay, fine. So basically correct, okay, that is mainly we are using the style so that, okay, we want a same look and feel. If we want to be, okay, set to every component or to the every pages, we want the same kind of your look and feel, then we go for the style. And as you know that, okay, there are three, okay, different way we can implement the style also. What are the three different way? Either you can use the inline style concept, we can go for embedded style sheet concept, or else we can use the external linked style sheet. These are the three different types, okay, which we can talk about. Okay, three different things, that is inline style concept I can implement, or else we can go for embedded style sheet, or we can go for your external style sheet also we can implement. These are the three different way by which we can go for the style sheet. I think everyone we know, okay, about how we can go for your inline style sheet. In a case of your inline style sheet, okay, that is we are specifying that style sheet within the component level only. If you want to go for a component level style sheet, if you want to specify, then we go for the inline style sheet. If I want to write embedded style sheet, that means I want to write about that, okay, in an HTML I can specify the style tag where I'll write the style, maybe I can specify a class or an ID type, and I want to use that, okay, particular style into the multiple components of that particular page. In that case, I can write the embedded style sheet. External style sheet, okay, in this case, I will write different style sheet file, that is the .css file which I will create, and then I will go for, I'll link that particular style sheet within my Jsfs page, okay, by using the link ref tag we can use, and by which we can link that CSS page, and I'll use their classes and IDs, okay, of that CSS page over here in my Jsfs page also. So that is the third different way of implementing the styles also. So these are all the different way by which we can implement the style also. So we see in that, okay, inline style, you can see the style definitions that are applied to the style property of a particular UI component only. That is, we cannot reuse the inline style. So inline style will be used when you know that, okay, particular elements or a component, UI component, want to have a particular style which will not be reused across the components of the page or for the multiple pages. In that case, okay, we can go for the inline style which can be implemented to that particular component only. So to use this inline style, we can go for style attribute of the relevant UI component also we can implement. And there is a small snippet of code. Though I think you can do these all the things, okay, it was very easy. Okay, so you can type the button, and for the button I want the style sheet, it has to become in the bold, font size to be large, and the Vardhana color green. These are all the things. If you want to be specified, okay, then we can use the inline style. So that means within your command button only, we are using the style attribute, and we are specifying whatever the style we require for this button. Then I am specifying that. But in these disadvantages, I cannot reuse. With the same font, if I want to go for again in the next button, again I need to rewrite that whole code. I cannot reuse it anywhere. But okay, if I want to go for like that reusing, better is that, okay, I should go for your embedded style sheet I can use and I can implement also. Similarly, if I want to go for embedded style sheet, now in the embedded style sheet, what will happen? This will enable you to define all the styles for a web page at one place. If we want to define all the styles of the web pages at one place, then we go for the embedded style sheet. And it will reduce the time required for design the web page. It can be defined once and implemented to the different UI component of the same page. And we have to create the group of styles within the style tag. And wherever you want to implement, in the UI component, we have to use the style class attribute we can use. And there I can use that particular styles also. And over here you can see that. There is a sample example which I have provided over here. H colon head style I have given, format F format, and I have specified font weight, font size, font family, color we have been specified in this. And if I want to use that in the different class, then how I can use output label, then style class is equal to F format. Like input text, you can say F format. Output label F format. Then input secret F format. Like that, for each and every component, I can use this same style class. So that, all the component, the look and feel and their colors will be the same. If you want to do like that, then I can create that, the style in my embedded, and I can reuse that, in the multiple components also. That is what we can do. Yes. Alright. So this is all about how we can use the embedded style sheet. If I want to use, you can use. There is a sample example he has given. Like everyone, you can see that enter username, enter password button also. Even you can see the text field also. Everything, it is look like the same. Certain thing, if you want to implement like this, then we can use the embedded style sheet and it is better. And you may create also like this. Maybe you want for all the labels, you want one format. All the text boxes should have this different format. All the buttons should be in a different format. Such kind of things also, if you want to implement, we could implement that also. That is also can be possible. So embedded style sheet can be implemented in a different manner. You can have the number of classes you create and reuse it everywhere, wherever it is required also. That is all. Then we have again one more thing, that is nothing but your external style sheet. How to implement the external style sheet? Let us see that. It is very easy. Again, we need to create a separate file called as .css file we need to create, and it will contain the style definition for individual elements and all. Then I can go for your external style sheet also we can do. So in the external style sheet, so with a .css file which we can create, and I can implement that. And whenever you want to add that particular style sheet to my page, what I can do is, I can create a link, Jsfhs, then you have to specify that particular style sheet name, where you have created, and I can refer to that. So that is what I can do if you want to implement, the external style sheet also. Is it clear now? This is what you can write that, all the style sheet in a CSS file like this, within this file I can write everything, and then wherever the Jsfhs page is there, I can do like this, link Jsfhs, the name of the style sheet file, then the style sheet type, the text by CSS. So you can be specifying this tag to refer to that. And then you can use the style class format as usual again. So once you have given the link ref, so again you need to create the style class you have to give, and whatever the style classes we have been provided, a format or anything, that you can write it over here again. So that, whatever the format you have been specified there, the same format which will be applied to this Jsfhs components also.
वायरस है तो क्या हुआ? मुझे दिखेगा नहीं वायरस का मतलब नहीं, मैं वो लैपटॉप में लगा, लैपटॉप दिखाएगा।
Yes, from Mumbai, Andheri West.
Anyway.
From Mumbai, Andheri West.
Hello?
Set your web camera properly. Can you set your web camera properly?
Yeah, alright. Exactly. Yeah, hello sir.
Yeah. Can you please tell your name?
I'm Dushan from Bandra.
I did not get your name.
Dushan. Dushan. From Nepal.
Okay. So, because we are, the ID looks like from Andheri West.
Sorry sir?
It is ID looks like from Andheri West. So please use the proper ID.
Okay, okay sir.
So you are taking Java?
Yeah.
Okay. Fine, because you can check with your GL, okay, so that okay, he can do something for you.
Okay, okay.
Fine. So these are all the different type of your style, okay, which can be implemented in our program. Can we have the style, or can you do? It's very easy. Or we'll see a small demo. Which one? Pick. Can we go for the demo, or you can do it with the style? I want a response. Okay, fine. We can do it very easy actually. We can do it. That is simple. Okay, you try it out. Okay, that is we can implement easily, right? Okay then. So now we'll go for the very important. Okay, that is nothing but your template kind of thing. Just like your master pages concept, which we are implementing, that we are going to discuss now. So how do we do that? How I can implement that master pages kind of your concept in our Jsfhs? Okay, so how we use? So I think, what is a master page? What is a master pages kind of concept? You can give me any answer. What do you understand by master page? Everyone, please respond. Okay, good. Arun, very good. The Sai has given. Thank you, Sai. Thank you. Thank you. Good. I will. It may not be home page only. It's not that okay. Only home page. Very good. From Rosary Garden. Thank you. Good. Okay. Very nice. Okay, Pallavi. Okay. All right. Thank you. Very nice. So, as you know that okay, master pages is just like okay, a common page or a common a look and feel. Okay, a common page to all the web pages, whichever it is the part of this web application. That time okay, we can go for the master pages concept actually. So the similar concept which you want to be implemented over here also. Okay, so you want to create a template kind of things, and this template I want to implement, and I want to create a template, and that it has to be implemented to every pages. Such kind of things if you want to implement, then we go for this template. So to implement the template, okay, so it can be created using the tag available in the facelet namespace. Where we have used this facelet namespace, can anyone tell us? One time I have used the facelet namespace. We have seen that okay, till now the namespaces, that is nothing but your HTML namespace. We have also discussed about something called as core, okay, that is for your core tag library. We have seen that namespace. There is also one namespace which we have seen, that is nothing but your facelet namespace also, where we have seen that. Very good. Yeah. Okay. Facelet is a tag that time we have seen. Faceset tag, that is. Sai, that is a faceset tag. It is, I'm talking about facelet namespace. Okay, so facelet namespace, okay, this is nothing but, okay, it is, we have used in the include. If you remember that, okay, when we have created a view and sub-view concept when we have implemented, there we have been discussed that, okay, UI colon include, where we can include a particular file output into this particular page. So that time I have used the facelet namespace. So remember that, okay, facelet namespace which is containing UI tag, include tag which will be containing, and the prefix for this facelet tag which will be UI. So to use the template Jsf application, you need to create a template file and use that particular template file in other, okay, web pages or Jsf pages, which can be referred to that as a template client file. A template file, okay, is a standard layout of the web pages that is used by the other web pages in the Jsf application also. And this is commonly contains header, footer, it will contain, okay, the template file. A master pages also will contain the same thing. No, it will contain header, it will contain footer, it will contain the sidebar and the body of the web pages where you can change the pages. That all the things which will be contained in the template file. Similarly, how the master pages will contain, template file also will contain the same way. And in the templated file, you will have something called as editable areas. Where in the editable areas where you can put the file or anything. So this is what your editable areas of a template file, which will allow the web pages to insert their respective components that are not common. Okay, if you want the other pages which has to be displayed, that will be comes under the editable areas. In the editable areas only we can write the code or anything. That is what the part which you have to do. So now we'll talk about these editable areas and all, how we can write the code that we can see. So this is a sample example of a template file. You could see that, okay, there is a template file where we have a header which has been written. There is a footer we have, okay, there is a sidebar which is also containing. There is something called as, okay, body also it is contained by this. In this, okay, the lot of codes and everything which we can be written. Okay, so that is all about your, okay, a simple template file which we can talk about. So this is the template file how I can create, and in these blank spaces, in these editable areas where we can insert the other pages. If you want any other pages to be inserted, we can insert that into this particular area only. So that are the few things what we can do in the templated file also. So first we need to create a templated file, and then we can create the client files, okay, which are referred to that particular template also. So this is a sample example of a template file how we could create also. Now template file, what are the things it will contain? We'll see. So template file will be created with a facelet. It's similar to a Jsf page, okay, template file, and it will contain basically the two main tags, that is nothing but your insert tag and include tag it will contain. Okay, so these are the two different type of your tags, generally what it will be containing in your templated file also. Okay, so insert tag will have an editable area, okay, on a template file, and has an attribute called as name, which is referred to an editable area, which will refer to an editable area. Whereas include, okay, which you can contain the first editable area or second editable area where you can write the code. Whereas in the case of your include is used to include the content of a web page in another web page. That is what your include will do. It will contain an attribute called as src, which will refer to the source page. That is what exactly we can do that in an include. So this is what we can talk about, the two different tags which you need to use, and we can implement the code into that. So let us see that, okay, how we could create that, how we can implement the code into this, okay, that we are going to discuss now. We'll see this. So this is about your main, okay, templated area which will contain include or insert is the code which you need to be specified. So insert is the editable area where you can write a simple area where okay you can give the name, and whereas okay include is just another page you want to add it, but insert is nothing but there is another content okay whose name you want to specify. So that is what your insert will do. So we'll see once we'll see the demo. Okay, then we could see that okay how we can implement this insert and how we can go for your include type of your tags which we can use in the templated file, and we can implement the master pages concept in your JSF also. Okay. So we'll take a small example and we'll see okay the code. Before that okay we'll take a tea break and we'll come back and we'll do that. Okay, so we'll have a tea break and we'll come back and we'll discuss about okay this sample template which we are going to create, and how okay this template file exactly it will be done, that we are going to discuss actually. So we can go for the break and we'll come back.